What's up, everybody? Welcome back to week 13 of Backyard Trash Talk. If you haven't noticed, it looks a little different in here tonight. We have our first celebrity guest.
Live guest.
In
studio.
Luke Farrell. Luke, how you doing tonight?
Yeah, long-time listener, first-time caller. It's good to be with the boys. Let's get it going.
And we appreciate you having here. It's going to be a good night, a fun night. Me and John are back yet again. John's rocking a nice yellow shirt tonight. John, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling good. It's gonna be fun sharing the mic. Good to have a live guest on the show. We're excited to share our studio, and he can feel the blood, sweat, and tears that go into this beautiful production. But as always, I like to jump right into it. Let's talk about the Home Run Derby. A lot of things showing up for the Home Run Derby. Luke, what were your thoughts on the Home Run Derby?
I think, what's this, third year of the format?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
third year of the format. The one thing that needs to get changed is the whole wait till the ball drops.
They're terrible at that.
It doesn't matter. Let the guys swing if they want to swing.
Yeah.
Because I think we see what you saw last night with Vladdy Jr. is like fatigue does play a role in this kind of thing. I mean, you're swinging for almost, what comes out to be like 15, 20 rounds of BP.
Yeah.
Let fatigue and let some strategy come in. And, okay, if you want to wait. I'm a big Mets fan, so I like the result. But I thought it was phenomenal. I think the umpire ended up letting them just, swing ahead and go and do what you want to do.
Yeah, and I think that's how it should be too. If you want to swing as many times as you can, as many seconds, like you should be able to go for it. And I think that's kind of how it is. It's one of those like unwritten rules, like
just make it official.
Yeah, like it's like you're supposed to do this, but the past 3 years I watched it, I don't think it's ever been enforced that you have to wait until the ball lands, or else.
Bryce Harper was known for cheating in this role. Him and his dad did not care at all. They're like, whatever. Like, are you really going to take this away from us if we win? One thing that that needs to be enforced, though, that someone with the last name Guerrero needs to always be in it. I don't care if it's the junior or the senior. Those big boys come to play. Big fans of them.
That was hype. And Luke, hometown Mets guy, were you a little ecstatic?
Well, it was a guy like Alonso that I think kind of people want to see do the big numbers, but he went second in the first round, went second in the second round, went second in the third round. He just did what he needed to do. It was a very boring, very sneaky performance, but he hit some freaking shots.
So the debate now is Vladdy Guerrero hit 90-plus homers and comes in second place, hits the most homers by far. I know there's going to be a little bit of bias here, but do you like the rule how it is, or do you want it to be more of total home runs play a factor?
If you're going to go with the bracket, you got to go with the bracket. Maybe, I don't know how I think it's better than the way it used to be with the 10 outs. The bracket's always going to be, you're going to get some upsets, you're going to get some shootouts, and I guess that's just kind of the way it is. I think what is tricky is you get a guy like Vlad Guerrero, who's the 8 seed technically, going up against Chapman or whoever it was from Oakland, but they do it by amount of home runs hit, and Vladdy only had 8. I think he would have been seated a little bit more appropriately and might have had a better fight. So
that's true.
Absolutely, lots of fun. Home Run Derby, always a big hit. But All-Star Week as a whole, what do you think about that? It's kind of a unique time because baseball is kind of an everyday sport. There's always games on, and then suddenly it's like, all right, let's take a week off and kind of do this like celebration, almost like its own little like parade and Super Bowl in itself or World Series in itself. Do you like the format of the All-Star game, or is there a way to make it more entertaining?
Well, let's go back. Is the Home Run Derby the best All-Star Week competition in all of sports? Does it beat the dunk contest?
I think it does.
Does it beat the three-point contest?
Yeah, I'd say if you asked me 10 years ago, no. Because the Home Run Derby was the way it was. You get 10 outs, Home Run Derby. Whereas the dunk contest, the best players every year were in the dunk contest. Now it's a bunch of like random dudes that are going out there.
The way I see it is, bring it back, I think the Home Run Derby, it really it's the appetizer, but it's more the main course of the All-Star Week. I think you're going to go to the game tonight if you watched it or if you went for the experience of saying you went to the All-Star game.
Yeah.
But
I mean, would you rather go to the
that,
Home Run Derby or the All-Star?
No, and that's, I think, the point I'm trying to make is I think you'd rather go to the Home Run Derby. I think they have to have a game for having a game's sake, right? You have to have a 9-inning game. There's not a whole lot different you can do to a baseball game.
I got an idea.
Let's
This has been my idea
Wiffle
for
ball.
years. Wiffle ball. Great idea. You can ask Chris Anderson. I've had this idea for probably 4 or 5 plus years.
Okay.
You take the all-star pitchers out of it. Pitchers they get hurt all the time. It's fluky. Give them a week off. Rest their arms. You bring all the pitchers in with the worst ERA in the league and have them pitch against the All-Stars. And then you make it that you have to score 15 first to 15 runs wins. So you don't really you play innings for 3 outs, but you just keep playing until someone scores 15 runs.
All right, let me
Not with the worst pitchers in the league.
So, all right, what if we did? See, because the thing with the All-Star game, right? They treat it like a game, and it used to mean something, and it was the home field advantage in the World Series, right? Now it doesn't mean anything. I say you go Little League format, right? Let every position player hit. You don't need, like, whoever wants to go out in the field, let them go out in the field, have those defensive adjustments. Yeah. But let everybody hit the whole lineup. The guys are there. So, I don't know. It's better than the other All-Star games, but it's a baseball game. It's not much you can do outside the scope of the game to really make a huge difference.
Yeah, traditionally, not that I've ever watched a full All-Star game, but traditionally it seems like it's like 3 to 4 3 to 4 hits per game, like not many runs, like it's really not that exciting.
Yeah, and they're bringing in these stud pitchers for
1 inning.
10 pitches, 12 pitches because none of the teams that have representatives there that are pitchers really want their guys going all out.
Absolutely.
So, let the guys just get their 10 pitches, but hit everybody in the lineup. It'll be a little bit more exciting, I think.
I'm with you big time. Change of pace. NBA free agency finally kind of calming down. Like most of the big stars are in place. Kawhi goes to the Clippers. It was big news. Luke, as our guest, what are some things you're looking forward to in the upcoming NBA season?
I think just having 7 teams in the West that are really anybody can win that conference. And then some real parity in the East, too. I don't think anybody on July the 9th or whatever today's date is can say this team is going to win the East. Yeah. I think there's a certainty that you could say to 2 or 3 teams in the West that you could think that could win the West, but in the East, it's a freaking crapshoot.
Yeah. And I feel like this year, which is probably since we've seen the Miami Heat dynasty, the Golden State dynasty, even to an extent the Spurs for a little bit, there was always that dominant team every year. And it feels like this year, this is the first year we're having such a balance in the league, and literally, like you said, it's a crapshoot. Anyone's going to be able to win it this year. And it's anyone's bet. If you look at all the Vegas lines, Vegas doesn't know who's going to win either. I mean, it's literally all up in the air. And I think that's great for the NBA. That's huge because that was their problem the last 5-10 years was, all right, it's this one team. Who can beat this one team? And now finally we're seeing some of these stars go to other places. And it just really opens up the league.
Yeah, I think that's great. And the other thing is, too, is especially heading into the season, we got to find a way to make the regular season a little bit more meaningful, and I think this really shook up.
No, yeah,
I think it's okay. There's some positioning to be made here for the first seed or the second seed or even on the bottom end. Okay, if I was the 8th seed drawing the Warriors in the past couple of years, I really didn't have a chance. Okay, now if I'm the 8th seed, okay, well I might be playing the Lakers, who at this point could be 62-20, or the Clippers, who could be 62 or 20. Or I could be playing the Jazz, who are a little bit unproven, whatever. Yeah. So there's some jockeying, there's some positioning that can go on in the regular season. I think that's one of the big draws is, okay, the playoffs, but now the regular season is a little bit more interesting too, especially down the stretch.
Yeah. Now, we wouldn't bring you in here if we weren't going to ask the big question. Markelle Fultz. What's the deal with Markelle Fultz? Yeah, you're gonna give us a little inside scoop. What's up? Please give us some information, some insider information. Give us the good side of it, because I feel like oftentimes, and you might agree with this, we hear that Markelle Fultz, it's all in his head, it's all this, it's all that. I feel like we only hear the bad. Give us the good of Markelle Fultz.
He's a good kid. He's a really, really good kid. He wants to do right by his mom, wants to do right by his family. He's a guy that had a lot to prove. More than anybody in that draft, had so much to prove going number one, going over Lonzo, over the Ball family. I think it's hard to have that on your shoulders, to go into Philly, who felt like they were in contention. They were one piece away. They felt like Markelle might have been that piece. He was a skinny kid, a very skinny kid, and he went hard in the weight room, and I think might have just done a little too much, done it too hard. I think the skills are still there, the silkiness is still there, the smoothness is still there, can leap out of the gym. So maybe a change of pace. I don't think he suited up much with the Magic last year. He certainly didn't much with the 76ers before the trade. So, maybe a change of scenery. It's a free agent year for him. So hoping for a good year. I think the Magic made the playoffs last year, so he's on a contender in a league where you're not really sure what can go on, and they can sneak a 5 seed, 6 seed.
All right, I like it. Speaking of our other favorite NBA player, everyone's favorite NBA player, LeBron James. I'm reading an article today, actually last week, and there was the headline was they're going to do something super breaking news. They're going to do something super unique with LeBron James. So I clicked the article thinking it was some sort of training, right? They're going to put him at point guard, and apparently that's breaking news. Like, my man has not carried the ball up 90% of the time the last 10 years of his career. LeBron James officially going to play some point guard. How do you think this kind of shakes up with him officially being in the point guard spot? Are they going to go with a bigger, potentially slower lineup? What do you think is going to happen?
And by starting at point guard, you mean the introductions are just going to list him as at point guard, LeBron James. It's positionless basketball now. I mean, everybody sees that. Yeah. I mean, LeBron was playing the one for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and it wasn't as certified or wasn't as confirmed as the Lakers have made it. I think it's fine. I think the Lakers see what they've got in Rajon Rondo before. They see what they've got in Quinn Cook before, and they're just unproven yet. So I think they can go a little bit bigger than most teams can, with LeBron maybe playing the 1 and AD playing the 4 and then Boogie getting in at the 5. I think they're really trying to... Yeah, it's a crazy lineup to think about, but if they can get Kuzma to shoot, if they can get Danny Green to shoot, that 5 is
intense.
Lights out.
Intense, for sure. Yeah, the Lakers, I think, is always going to be interesting TV as long as LeBron's on that team, Anthony Davis on that team. Lots of good TV. But we're gonna go to a sport that some would say I know the best, and some would say I don't know the best. Golf. I am 0 for 1 in recorded predictions, and it was a bad 0 for 1. But we got another major coming up.
We do.
British Open.
The final.
All right, we're going to take... He's a big Tiger fan. We're going to take Tiger out of the equation. Let's say he does not exist. Who do you like winning this tournament if Tiger cannot be a choice?
So, you look at guys that are trending in the right direction. That's a big word in the golf community. Looking for guys that are playing well, might not be winning, might not be finishing on Sunday. But I think you had to look at a guy like Jon Rahm, just won this past weekend over in Ireland.
Ireland.
I don't think you can ever count out... I think Brooks is going to get the Tiger treatment now. I don't think you'll ever be able to count him out. He was there right down the stretch in the U.S. Open. He won at Bethpage, obviously. He was one stroke behind Tiger at the Masters. Like, this kid he deserves the credit that he should be getting, and he's still not. So I think my picks would be Jon Rahm, trending in the right direction, and then Brooks Koepka. You can never count him out.
And talk a little about, I think it was you who talked about Koepka being an athlete. Was that you who talked about he's bringing athleticism back to golf?
I think you have to. I think you look at a guy. There's only there's so many people that can revolutionize a sport for the rest of the sport in its entirety. I think in terms of dominance, I think the only other person that compares is probably Wayne Gretzky to what Tiger was able to do between 97 and like 2004. I mean, they don't call Gretzky the great one for no reason.
Yeah.
So I think Brooks is the first person since Tiger that goes out. I just won the major. Previous to this, okay, next one. I think one of the
he's got that mindset.
I think one of the things I heard about Sergio Garcia, a lot of these guys, they win a major and then they go get the house in the mountains. They kind of forget about golf for a while. Where Tiger, okay, he's gonna go out to dinner, he's gonna tip normally, and he's gonna go get the next one. I think Brooks Koepka's the same kind of guy. I mean, I really do.
How much percent does Tiger Woods?
He's horrible.
A lot.
But he doesn't. I think what the thing with Brooks is he wants to be treated like a good golfer, but he's just a normal guy that can hit the crap out of the ball.
Yeah.
And I think that's what today's game's about.
Chris Miles' game after that, being
I-
regular
yeah.
with hitting the crap out of the ball.
No, I'd like to think I'm as jacked as Koepka for sure. We look about the same, right?
Absolutely.
No? Yeah.
We can edit some biceps
Enough.
on.
Look at
We can edit some biceps. All right. So this is an age-old debate, and I'm not going to argue with you on air, especially if you
I'm not
agree with me.
argumentative.
No. Yeah. But here's the deal. There's two definitions, the most common definitions of best athlete.
Sure.
Okay? The first definition is the best athlete is whoever is the most dominant in their sport is the best athlete.
I see it that way.
And then there's another
In one
category
sense, sure.
that says the best athlete is who could be the most dominant in multiple sports.
I think that's the definition that I like more.
The second one.
I like
Okay.
the second one more. I think there's two arguments. There's two separate divisions, if you will, of being the best athlete. There's obviously the most dominant, and those are the guys that you know by one name. That's Michael, that's Gretzky, that's Tiger. It's an exclusive group, I think being the best athlete is a completely different situation. I think if I looked at a collective group, I'd say hockey players are probably the most athletic players on the planet because I think they do something on a
There are going to
foreign
be some
surface.
hot comments on that
No,
statement.
no.
Hockey take. That's hockey talk.
But I think if you look at these guys in the gym, they look like a very athletic, normal football player type of body, but they're doing something on a foreign surface that most guys couldn't do with their girlfriends, right? So, I mean, Christ, these guys are skating
I
faster
can't stop on the ice, I'll be honest.
I mean, these guys are skating forwards,
is
backwards,
Johnny.
sideways. So, like, I just think you take a lot of these guys, they'd be good football players. They'd be physical basketball players. I think they'd be good enough golfers. Baseball,
For sure.
are they?
For sure.
I think in terms of being the best athlete,
That-
that's where it gets done.
Okay, so Chris, I want to hear your which definition of athlete, best athlete, do you
Yeah.
like first? The first or the second?
No, I mean, I'll put that question kind of onto a second point. I want to first address the hockey take. Wow, that was hot.
I think it's hot, but I don't
That
think
was
it's.
I mean, I know Happy Gilmore did it. He was one of the few to go from hockey to another sport and succeed. But I don't know.
I don't know. You see
That's
some
hot.
of these. I mean, you see some of these guys though. They're massive, and like
the people
I
are going to
still
talk.
think-
The people are going to talk.
And that's fine. That's what we're here to do, and that's a take that I've had for years now, and I think I stand by that. I don't. I think they use a lot of different skill sets that other sports don't.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, we'll just let that sit. We'll let the people
Maybe
sort
there's a
that
part
out.
two.
We'll let the people sort that out. But I think athlete. When you just think of the word athlete, you just think of the most athletic person, the person that can do well in anything. Just like me and Luke Farrell at recess, kickball, softball, football. I mean, we were
Yeah,
winning no
you're
matter
an
what.
athlete,
We were
yeah.
athletes in 8th grade. We were athletes. But you talk about these professional athletes. And when it comes down to ESPN, ESPY's best athlete, I think for the actual award, when they define athlete, I think that's best in their own sport. My definition of athlete would be different, but when we're talking about SB's best athlete, that's who in that year was the most dominant in their sport. So I think it's just a matter of setting and where it's being said, what the definition of it is. But mine would be the overall most dominant in many sports.
Yeah, I definitely agree. ESPN clearly does this, and so with the ESPYs this coming week, we have greatest athlete. I'm going to give you 4 choices, and I want to hear you. We got Koepka for golf, Mookie Betts for baseball, Giannis for basketball, and Patrick Mahomes from the NFL. Out of that, based on ESPN's definition, not our own definition, who do you think wins greatest athlete?
I'll kick it to Chris first.
Oh, wow. Kicking it right to me. I'm going to go with Giannis. I'll tell you what, if we're talking about the definition of dominant in their own sport, Giannis is his own sort of player. He is post up, drive on you, but then also can kick it out and has a decent jumper. Like this guy, all you have to do is get him the rock and he's scoring. In his respective sport, I mean, you look at Milwaukee this year, he pretty much carried their team. You have to think that out of those guys, Mookie Betts, okay, yeah, it's baseball. Like, come on. Like, you can only do so much individually. Koepka, he's good, but he's still not there yet. And then who was the other? Mahomes, he's, one-trick pony. He did it 1 year. We'll see about this sophomore slump. But I think Giannis, he's a dominant player. He's the best athlete in his or her sport if you're talking about those 4 people.
It's so hard, though. The NBA is... There's phenomenal talent all around, right? But, was Giannis that much more dominant than James Harden? Was he that much more dominant than Kevin Durant when he was healthy? It's just so hard. There's only really one guy that, if we're going on most dominant, it has to be Brooks. Now, do I think Brooks is going to win? No chance. There's no chance because I don't think that's the sexy pick for ESPN. I think Giannis is the sexy pick. I think Mahomes might have a chance. Obviously, I think Mookie and Brooks are the 2 dark horses, if you will. But here's a guy in Brooks Koepka, competed at this year's Masters, won last year's PGA, fended off Tiger, won last year's U.S. Open, won the U.S. Open before that. I mean, now we're dating back outside of the range of the award here. But, I mean, geez, back-to-back PGA, back-to-back U.S. Open, contended in this year's U.S. Open. In terms of dominance, I'm going to go Brooks. For the award, I'm going to pick Giannis.
Yeah, I think it's hard because when you look at different sports, there's different contexts, right?
Yeah.
And you look at Brooks and his advantages, it's only up to him. So every swing is him.
Absolutely.
You look at baseball, Mookie Betts, you can't club a bunch of RBIs or get a bunch of runs unless guys are hitting in front of you and behind you.
And I think that's why it's easy to see the dominance.
Yeah, so it's very hard. And then Mahomes gets to touch the ball every play, unlike a wide receiver or running back or anyone else. And then if you look at Mahomes' supporting cast, he is a genius coach that sets quarterbacks up, historically has dominated and done really well with almost every quarterback he's had. You have the fastest wide receiver in the league. You have one of the best tight ends in the league. And Kareem Hunt, as controversial off the field as he was one of the best backs in the league.
Yep.
And that is all. Mahomes makes those guys better, but they also make Mahomes better.
Yeah.
And so what he did was unbelievable. But like you said, I want to see if he can do it year in and year out when people kind of figure out what kind of style offense they're running. Tyreek Hill might be suspended. Kareem Hunt's gone. You got just Kelsey. I think he's going to perform. I'm not saying he's not. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to be a 50-touchdown year. And so based on that context, I think Giannis has the easiest layup to win it because he had to carry guys on his team, unlike Brooks. Brooks didn't have to carry anyone. So it's kind of a shot against him. So I think Giannis is going to be the ESPN pick. But I'm with you. I think Brooks deserves it.
Yeah, and it's extremely difficult, too, because, I mean, we're looking at from, this past ESPYs in 2018 to 2019, right? That should be the basis for which you make your decision. And Brooks only won in that time frame, 2 majors. I mean, 2 majors is 2 majors, but still, if you're looking at his dominance, it dates back to a little bit before, and I think it's a little unfortunate, but I think we all agree that Giannis is probably the smart pick.
Yeah. All right, well, enough about the ESPYs, and we all know the first 10 minutes of the comedy stand-up's the best part anyway.
I'm
So
kind of looking forward to Tracy Morgan.
yeah.
A shade. A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. We'll see what he's got. I hope he brings up the car accident. Did you guys see that?
What car accident?
Oh, never mind. He got hit by like a Honda CRV in his like brand new Bentley and just came out heated.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. That's the best when comedians can make fun of themselves.
Yeah.
That's what I like to see. All right, anyway, enough about the ESPYs. Last topic tonight before we end. Luke, again, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, boys.
We have to talk about the Women's World Cup. Holy cow. Talk about the swaggiest group of girls around. They ran around, said, I don't care about you, Donald Trump. We're going to win. We don't care what you say. We're going to win all these awards. All this stuff left and right. They didn't care what anybody else said. It seemed like every week, every team was trying to drag them down. The Europeans were like, these guys are celebrating too much. They didn't care. They won anyway. They won out. They celebrated in the most dramatic fashion. It seemed like they were drunk all evening. It was phenomenal. Luke, kicking it back to last year when the Capitals won the Stanley Cup. I don't know if you remember, Alex Ovechkin was in the fountain, just like leaned back, drunk, like hammered. Who had a better celebration? This past Women's World Cup team celebrating in the locker room, all those videos that you saw, or the Capitals from last year? Now, this is kind of a random question, but we're throwing it to you.
I think the thing with the Capitals, which made it so fun, is it was such a long time coming for it to happen that it was just like they knew nothing else but to just go out, because I think there was a huge monkey on the back that just kind of was relieved. With the girls, it seemed this year that I don't want to say a team of destiny, but anything short of winning was going to be a disappointment.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that's fair. The girls were so dominant. There's not a better team out there right now than the women.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You're going to say they're the best sports team out there.
We went back
I love
to back.
that take.
Yeah, I think they're going back to back to back. Book
Ooh,
it. 2023
Book it.
Women's World Cup.
Write it down.
Man.
Well,
Back to back.
I think they have fun together. I think it's a good group of girls to watch. It's especially fun to watch when they're winning. I think the men could learn a thing or two. I think they had a poor performance in the CONCACAF Cup or the Gold Cup that evening. But yeah, it was fun to watch. It was an incredible tournament from start to finish, beating Thailand and then ending up beating the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Smacking Thailand.
Smacking
well,
Thailand.
Sending all the goods back to Thailand. Wow.
We don't want any.
Man, didn't want anything to do with it.
Well, okay, has that been a topic on the show? I mean, was the 13-0 beatdown, was that too much?
Was a topic. Was it too much? No. I mean, you could talk about it. Go for it. I mean, this
not too much.
Luke,
you play to win the game.
This is your
right?
shot right
you
here.
You play to win the game.
I mean, this is your podium right here. Any last thing you want to say out to the public? Like, this is, you got your soapbox right here.
I think, I've got everything.
You don't have any vendettas, you want to go out and say this
Well, I was waiting for the random 4 thing ranking.
Oh, the 4 for 4, yeah.
4 for 4's come. It's
random.
It's random. It's literally random. Never planned.
Okay. Well, no, I think it was a great show tonight. We had a lot to cover.
Mid-show ranking the show. All right, that's
it was a lot to cover. I mean, it was a fun episode. Good stuff.
There you go. John, any last words?
Hey, it's been a pleasure. Looking forward to football heating up soon in the next couple weeks, and we got more to talk about. It is the dead season of sports, as they say. Looking forward to the ESPYs.
It's a dead season, but we're not dead. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for joining us tonight. Thank you to Luke Farrell tonight for joining us. Clap, 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 clap. We'll see y'all next week.
Thank you, boys, for having me.
Thank you.